Why are many spiritually aware souls born into difficult families? It's a question that stays in your mind because somewhere inside, you felt it. How can a wise universe place a sensitive, awakened soul in a home full of chaos, pain, or neglect? Why does light appear in the darkest places? You may have wondered, did I deserve this? But the truth is different, deeper, and more empowering. The universe rarely puts awakened souls in comfort. It puts them in challenge. Because comfort doesn't wake anyone up, pain does. Pain is an alarm that whispers, "Wake up, you are more than this." As Alan Watts said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." The soul that feels deeply is not cursed, it is being shaped. In a world that is mostly asleep, it takes pressure, fire, and chaos to create awareness. Gold is purified in heat. Diamonds are made from pressure. In the same way, awakened souls are formed in difficult environments. Maybe your family didn't understand you. Maybe you were the quiet observer, the one who felt everything but spoke little. You tried to bring peace where there was conflict, but instead of being valued, you were misunderstood. That wasn't an accident. It was initiation. What if your pain was not punishment, but purpose? What if your struggles were preparing you for the strength your soul needed? What if your family, no matter how broken, was the exact training ground for your growth? You were not born into chaos by mistake. You were born there because you had the strength to rise above it. 1. The deeper reason for painful beginnings. Your birth and your environment were not random. The universe does not make mistakes with awakened souls. Painful beginnings often hide a secret pattern. When a soul has the potential for awareness, it cannot grow in comfort. Comfort keeps people asleep. Pain breaks illusions. It forces you to question, explore, and rise. This is why so many awakened souls come from families with emotional storms. They were not being punished, they were being prepared. To bring light, the soul must first understand darkness. Without experiencing the absence of love, you cannot truly recognize love. Without rejection, you cannot discover your own worth. Without chaos, you cannot understand inner peace. Your early pain was not wasted. It was a lesson. It showed you what happens when fear rules instead of love. It prepared you for a life where you lead with awareness, not unconscious patterns. Alan Watts said the universe plays hide and seek with itself. Sometimes the soul hides in pain so it can rediscover its own light. Your family's darkness was never your final chapter. It was only the beginning of your awakening. You were put in the fire so empathy could rise from your ashes. You were misunderstood so you could learn to understand your painful beginning exists because your purpose is powerful. Every wound, every tear, every lonely night was part of your soul's training, guiding you back to your true strength and awareness. When you understand this, you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That is the moment real change begins. Remember, stars are only seen in the dark. Maybe that's why your soul chose a dark sky, so your light could finally be noticed. Say this affirmation: "My pain has purpose." 2. Family as the first mirror. Your family is not your enemy. It is your first mirror, the first place your soul learns about itself. Every smile, every argument, every wound reflects a hidden message about who you are becoming. Awakened souls often grow up in homes full of misunderstanding or emotional coldness, not because they deserve it, but because it awakens self-awareness faster than comfort ever could. When you grow up in a house where love feels conditional, where control replaces care, or where silence feels like punishment, you start to see unconsciousness very closely. This mirror doesn't show beauty, it shows distortion. But inside that distortion, awareness is born. You learn what love isn't, and that teaches you what real love should be. A difficult family teaches through contrast. It shows what happens when people live from pain instead of wisdom. You start to notice patterns, anger passed down through generations, fear handed from parent to child, guilt silently traveling through the family line. As painful as it is, You become the observer. The awakened soul doesn't just feel the pain, it studies it. It asks, why are they like this? Why can't they love fully? Why does everything feel heavy? These questions aren't rebellion, they are awakening. They are the first sparks of light in a dark room. Alan Watts said you don't understand yourself by running away. You understand yourself by seeing what your family reflects inside you. When you stop fighting the mirror and start learning from it, something powerful happens. You realize their pain was never personal. They only projected what they never healed. Their anger wasn't truly about you. It was about their own old wounds. And you finally see the truth. Your family's dysfunction is not your identity, it is your initiation. Once you accept this, you stop trying to change them and you begin to transform yourself. When you stop seeking validation from others and start creating peace inside yourself, everything changes. You learn to separate their chaos from your clarity. That is how the family mirror becomes your teacher. It helps you understand yourself through reflection, not reaction. Say this affirmation: my family taught me awareness. 3. Awareness born. Through suffering. Suffering is not the end of awakening, it is the beginning. Every moment of pain, rejection, or confusion you faced growing up was not just hardship, it was initiation. An awakened soul learns to find meaning where others only see misery. When love becomes cold, when words hurt more than silence, something inside you starts to wake up. You begin asking, why does love hurt? Why does kindness disappear? Why do people harm those they claim to love? These questions are not signs of weakness. They are signs of consciousness. Pain forces the mind to look within. It breaks illusions and pushes you to search for truth. You start seeing that love without awareness becomes control, and care without understanding becomes manipulation. You did not learn this from books. You learned it by surviving emotional fire. Alan Watts said, "To suffer without understanding is hell. To suffer and see through it is awakening." This is exactly what happens when your soul transforms pain into insight. You stop being the victim of your story and become the witness of your growth. Every heartbreak polished your soul like fire shapes metal. The fire didn't destroy you, it revealed your strength. You begin to notice your own patterns, how you protect your peace, how you stay calm in chaos, how you choose silence instead of arguments. This awareness means your suffering has done its work. It has turned your energy into wisdom. Feelings are not enemies, they are messengers guiding you back to balance. When you stop blaming the world and listen to your inner voice, healing begins. True awareness is born when your suffering becomes your teacher. Growth is not always gentle. Sometimes it is painful, lonely, and heavy, but loneliness teaches self-trust. Confusion teaches clarity. Heartbreak teaches detachment. Your scars show that you felt deeply, and because you felt deeply, you awakened deeply. Your pain was never meaningless. It prepared you for your higher self. Fire doesn't destroy metal, it purifies it. You are that metal. Every challenge made you brighter. Say this affirmation: my pain made me wise. 4. Breaking the ancestral chain. Generational pain is an invisible prison. It moves from parent to child like an emotional inheritance. Anger becomes normal. Fear becomes culture. Guilt becomes the way love is shown. Most people don't notice it, they just repeat it. But the awakened soul is different. It becomes the interruption in the pattern. You are not here to continue your family's suffering. You are here to end it. The moment you see the pattern clearly, the chain begins to break. Awareness itself is rebellion against unconscious repetition. You start to realize your parents were not villains. They were simply carrying their own unhealed pain. They acted from wounds they never learned how to face. Now you stand at a crossroads, repeat their patterns or transform what they could not. Alan Watts said, "You are under no obligation to be who you were yesterday." This truth is spiritual freedom. Once you see the dysfunction, it no longer controls you. You begin making choices from awareness, not old conditioning. You respond with wisdom instead of reacting with anger. You create peace where tension once lived. Breaking the family chain doesn't mean rejecting your family. It means refusing to carry what does not belong to your soul. It means letting go of inherited pain and turning it into understanding. You are not cursed. You were chosen to be the one who heals. You are the first to see the pattern clearly, and that makes you the cycle breaker. Healing is quiet. It's not shouting or blaming. It's slowly understanding. You forgive not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. You stop carrying pain that was never yours and start creating peace that never existed in your home. This is how ancestral healing works, turning darkness into wisdom. Each time you choose compassion instead of resentment, you shift your family's energy. Each time you respond with calm instead of chaos, you heal generations before you and after you. You are not your family's wound. You are its remedy. Their story may be written in pain, but yours will be written in strength. Remember this: you are the turning point in your bloodline. The past shaped you, but it no longer defines you. Say this affirmation: the chain ends with me. 5. Redefining. Love and boundaries. In toxic families, love often gets mixed with control. People say they care, but their love comes with guilt, pressure, or emotional manipulation. They say, "I love you," but what they really mean is, "Change yourself so I feel comfortable." An awakened soul learns early that this is not love. It is attachment pretending to be care. Real love does not trap you. It gives freedom. Real love does not demand obedience. It supports growth. But to understand real love, you often have to experience the false version first. Painful relationships teach you what healthy love should look like. They become mirrors that show the difference between compassion and self-sacrifice. Alan Watts said, "You can only love completely when you are free to leave." Love and freedom must exist together. Once you understand this, your idea of love changes. You stop seeking approval from people who only value you when you obey them. You realize that love without respect is not love at all, it's dependency. Then comes one of the hardest lessons. Sometimes love means walking away. People think staying is strength, but often leaving is stronger. Walking away is not betrayal, it is self-protection. It is choosing peace over pain, wisdom over wounds, and growth over guilt. Choosing peace over chaos and self-worth over guilt is true strength. You begin to realize that loving someone does not mean allowing them to hurt you again and again. An awakened soul learns that boundaries are not selfish, they are sacred. Boundaries are the language of self-respect. They are not walls to push people away, but gentle lines that protect your energy. You start saying no without feeling guilty. You choose silence instead of pointless arguments. You prefer solitude over fake peace. This is how love becomes mature, balanced, and aware. Love is no longer something you chase. It becomes something you live. The more you respect yourself, the more honest your relationships become. Those who truly love you will honor your boundaries. Those who resist them reveal their true intentions. Love without boundaries drains you. Love with awareness strengthens you. You learn to care deeply without losing yourself. That is spiritual adulthood, where compassion meets self-protection. You stop confusing tolerance with love or endurance with loyalty. You begin to love from fullness, not fear. When you redefine love, your whole world changes because real love heals your soul. It never harms it. Say this affirmation: my love has boundaries. 6. Understanding without attachment. There comes a point when you stop trying to fix people and start simply understanding them. Awareness isn't about changing others, it's about seeing them clearly while keeping your peace. This is emotional detachment, not from coldness, but from wisdom. The more conscious you become, the less you need to control anyone. You start observing your family from a higher place. You see the truth behind their actions. Their anger came from fear, their silence came from shame. Their manipulation came from emptiness. When this realization settles in, compassion begins to replace resentment. But compassion is not permission. Understanding someone does not mean accepting behavior that destroys your peace. Alan Watts said, "To understand life, you don't cling to it, you flow with it." The same is true for people. You cannot force anyone to awaken. Your only job is to embody the light that inspires change. So you stop arguing for your truth. You stop trying to convince them to see what you see. You move quietly, calmly, grounded in your own awareness. Your peace becomes your message. Understanding without attachment means you can forgive without returning, love without losing yourself, care without being consumed, and you stop expecting apologies that will never come. You stop looking for closure from people who can't give it. You finally understand that real closure doesn't come from them. It comes from accepting what happened. The moment you stop needing them to change, you take your power back. This detachment isn't arrogance, it's maturity. It's knowing that you can't heal in the same place or with the same people who hurt you. Sometimes the most spiritual choice is simply to walk away with grace. Forgiveness becomes quiet strength. You don't forgive because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Every grudge you release creates more space for your light to grow. An awakened soul doesn't fight the darkness, it shines through it. You realize your family's pain is theirs to handle, not yours to fix. You can love them from a distance while protecting your own energy. That is conscious love, compassion in your heart, but boundaries in your hands. When you learn this, no one can emotionally control you again. You free yourself from the need to please, the need to prove, and the need to fix everything. You simply stand in your truth, calm, aware, and unshakable. Understanding without attachment is true wisdom. It keeps your heart open, but your mind clear. Remember, you can forgive someone and still protect your peace. Both are acts of love, one for them, one for yourself. Affirmation: I choose peace over control. Transformation from darkness to light. There comes a moment in every awakened soul's journey when everything begins to make sense. You stop seeing your past as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. What once broke you becomes what shaped you. The pain that felt pointless begins to reveal its purpose. The chaos that once consumed you becomes the fire that forged your strength. True transformation doesn't happen when life is soft. It happens when life burns away everything fake and leaves only the truth. The toxic family, the betrayal, the loneliness, none of it was wasted. It was shaping you into who you were always meant to be. They were never your destruction, they were your initiation. Alanwatts said, "The crack is where the light gets in." Awakening begins exactly like that, through the cracks. The more you fought your pain, the more it followed you. But when you accepted it, it turned into strength. You start to see that your suffering made you wiser, your loneliness made you aware. Your heartbreak taught you deep compassion. You stop feeling shame for your wounds because now you understand they show your courage. Every scar became a lesson. Every breakdown became a breakthrough. Every shadow became a teacher. Real transformation isn't the absence of darkness. It's turning that darkness into light. The awakened soul becomes an alchemist, changing resentment into forgiveness, anger into understanding, fear into freedom. You stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start saying, "This happened for me." You realize your family didn't limit you. They revealed your strength. Without their pain, you wouldn't have learned detachment. Without their rejection, you wouldn't have found self-love. Without their chaos, you wouldn't have discovered peace. That is the paradox of awakening. Pain brings clarity, and suffering brings wisdom. Transformation doesn't mean forgetting your story. It means reclaiming it. You take every broken piece and build a new awareness. You start helping people who are still stuck where you once were, not from pride, but from empathy. You become the light you once prayed for. You see that darkness was never real. It was just the absence of understanding. When awareness enters, shadows lose their power. You understand now. The family that once wounded you also awakened you. They were not your downfall. They were your doorway. Life didn't punish you with them. It prepared you through them. Your story isn't about suffering. It's about evolution. You walked through fire and came out shining. You turned what was meant to break you into the reason you became unbreakable. That is true transformation. When your pain no longer defines you, it refines you. Affirmation: My darkness made me light. Now, here is the deeper truth. Awakened souls are born into toxic families for a reason. It's not karma or curse, it's calling. The universe places conscious souls in dark places not to destroy them, but to awaken them. Light becomes powerful only when it learns to shine in darkness. You were put in that family not to be broken, but to break the cycle. Every wound, every betrayal, every quiet moment shaped your awareness. You were the observer in chaos, the calm in the storm, the consciousness inside confusion. You see now, you were never the victim. You were the healer. Alan Watts said, "The meaning of life is just to be alive." The awakened soul doesn't run from pain. It sees through it. It learns that love without awareness is bondage, and awareness without love is emptiness. Balance is the key. Your family was the test. You were the answer. Their chaos was the challenge your soul accepted before birth. You came to bring light where darkness was repeated for generations. And now, after walking through fire, you stand as proof that awakening is possible even from the most painful beginnings. You were not sent to suffer. You were sent to awaken. You were not sent to break. You were sent to become whole. Final affirmation: I was born to bring light.